All right, so we're going to talk about Me Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris, 50 essays. Go ahead and open up your copy. Turn to page 340. What? What are you laughing at? All right, anyway. It's also posted on Google Classroom, the text and the questions and so on that we're going to do. Now, while you're reading today, we're going to do soap, not soapstone, because I'm going to tell you the tone is a humorous tone and so on like that. And the subject is what it's like for a grown man to learn a new language or go to language school in a foreign country. That's your subject, is learning a new language. So let's focus on the soap part here for just a minute. So your speaker is David Sedaris. And what do we know about him? Just from reading the introductory material, what do you know about him? How old is he?
62.
He's not 62. Read the first sentence.
56. 1956.
How old is he?
First sentence.
Read the first sentence.
He's 41 in the story. 41.
Thank you. Everybody in class is trying to tell you if you just listen. Anyway,
He's
so
62 right now.
whatever. He was 41, okay?
My dad's
All right.
58.
Again. All right. So, speaker is David Sedaris, 41-year-old guy. What's the occasion? What's going on? It's in there. Back to school. Where?
Paris.
In Paris. Okay. Who's the intended audience? Now, this is the part that we need to really focus on here for just a moment. What do you think? So, who is the intended audience here? You know, I've seen what students have been writing, and they'll say, you know, everybody, or a general audience, or people who like to laugh, or people who've tried to learn a foreign language. And I guess all of those are part of the intended audience, right? But let's think a little bit deeper when we're talking about the audience, because that will help us understand a little bit more about how he goes about using all of these different things to create this humorous tone. Okay? Now, I know you haven't really read into it that much, so I don't want to give too much away here, but while you're reading, just try to imagine yourself in his shoes. Now, I know you can't imagine what it's like to be a 41-year-old man studying a foreign language in a foreign country. I get that. Okay? But what you can imagine, what you can really think about, is what is it like to feel like you don't fit in? Ever experienced that? What does it feel like to see yourself as an outsider? Think about this. This is a grown man going and taking college classes, a 41-year-old man taking college classes in Paris with a bunch of 20-somethings who all know the language better than he. Okay? So he's probably feeling a little overwhelmed, feeling like an outsider, right? Like he doesn't belong. That you can relate to. Okay? You're also going to see how he deals with being bullied. There's a bully in this story. A big, bad bully. And you guys can relate to that too. And some of you, unfortunately, can relate to the exact same kind of bullying that he's experiencing. So when you're thinking about audience, that's what I want you to be thinking about. Okay? Not just some general reader who read this and they want to laugh. No, it's not that. You got to think a little deeper. So, then the P, the purpose, once you really see who his audience is, then you can start picking up on the purpose. Now, I'm not going to tell you what the purpose is. You're going to see that as you go through it. Is it to bring humor? Is it to lighten people up? Sure it is. Okay? But again, think a little more in depth of that. For what reason? How? Why? Whatever. Okay? Just think about it. Now, while we're reading, I want you on your own paper to cite examples of each of the following. All right? There's going to be up here on the board. This is posted on Classroom, but you'll have time to work on it down. First, I want you to cite, and when I say cite, what do I mean? What? Yes, textual evidence cited directly from the text. Concrete evidence. Okay, now you're going to have some long quotes in there, so shorten them up, use ellipses. I don't want the actual quote on your paper to be more than 5 to 7 words. You just show enough that you know what's being talked about. These are not full sentences, we're just making notes. Now I have over here on irony, which is the first one, there are 3 types of irony. And I know some of you will be looking it up and be looking at examples and all that kind of stuff. Just choose one. Just one of the 3 types. Okay? Next, I want you to cite an example of sarcasm. Then, cite an example of hyperbole. Okay? And a lot of students get hyperbole and sarcasm mixed up. So just think about it. Understatement, cite an example of understatement. And cite an example of his use of stereotypes. Now you're citing all these examples to see, okay, how does he use each of these rhetorical strategies to create this tone of humor? How's he doing that? Okay? Then we're going to finish it up with composing one paragraph in which you describe how, or what you believe is the greatest comic effect. Which one is the best at having a comic effect, and why? Which one of these strategies does he use best? Which is most effective at creating an effective effect? Yeah, that makes sense, don't it? Which one does he use best to create that comic effect? And why do you think that's the best one? So it's pretty basic, pretty simple stuff. We've been doing a lot of heavy reading the last couple of weeks. Some hard to handle stuff. This is pretty easy. Right? And when you start reading it, you might be able to relate to what he's talking about. You with me? All right, what questions do you have for me? We good to go then? All right, let's see what you can do.